So we'll give our committee just a couple more minutes to join, because if I'm correct in my screen, it looks like we have 7 people here. And Robert, can you tell me how big our committee is? How many people?
Just one sec. Let me see. We have I think it was 10. We had 10 yeses and then two individuals who said they wouldn't be able to attend.
So generally speaking, our Committee on Free Expression is 12 members.
12, yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if we're ready from a technology standpoint to get started, but I want to make sure that we're able to do all of the things that we need to do in the short time that we have set up for this meeting. So let me just introduce myself, and then I'm going to take roll for all of the committee members. My name is Melissa Flores. I am the interim general counsel for the Maricopa County Community College District, and I'm going to go ahead and ask. Let's see. I'm going to take roll here. Robert, if you have the list of the panelists who, or excuse me, the members of the committee who accepted the notice for this meeting, will you read off their names so that we can see if they're here?
Okay. Patty Cardenas Adame.
I'm here.
David Denlinger. David. Dwayne Desbian.
Here.
Jana Schwartz. Jana. Jen Miller.
I'm present.
Judy Gregg.
Robert, she just sent me a text that she wasn't able to unmute, and I gave her the directions about signing in another way.
Okay.
But it sounds like Judy is here, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Judy will be attending. I know that Jordan told her she had to go in a different way to be a panelist. So, Mike Ho.
I'm here.
Mike Mitchell.
I'm here.
Teresa.
I also wanted to let you know that Jana Schwartz is coming. She's just to let me know she's on her way.
Thank you. Teresa Tony.
I'm here, and Judy just sent me a text that she's not able to join the way you're instructing. So I don't know if you want me to call her and put her on speaker.
Please just send me her information. I'll call her.
Okay, I'll do that.
Melissa, these were the two that said they wouldn't be able to attend, but I'll just call out their names just in case. Ann Suzuki and Laura Dalgar. That was everyone.
So thank you, Robert. So it looks like we do have a quorum. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me first explain why we have moved our committee on free expression meetings into complying with the open meetings law. Early in the year, the faculty association attorney for the faculty association contacted me and with a concern about this committee not complying with open meetings law. The attorneys for the faculty association believe that we should be complying with the open meetings law. In my research as interim general counsel, believe that we are not required legally to comply with the open meetings law, but in an interest of full disclosure and of being transparent in the things that we do, the faculty association attorney and I agreed that Maricopa would follow the open meetings law as it pertains to our committee on academic freedom, or excuse me, our committee on free expression. And so that is why we've moved into this setting. I will say that we had agreed that we would comply with the open meetings law until the sunsetting of the report writing provision that is outlined in the in the free expression statute. Specifically, that would be um, Arizona Revised Statute 15-1868 that outlines that a community college board is required to establish a committee for the purpose of preparing and submitting a report to the governor and the heads of the House and Senate. So much to my surprise, I guess I shouldn't be super surprised, but Senate Bill 1636 actually amended the statute to remove the sunsetting requirement. So where we had originally only had to do these reports until the year 2024, we had a new law that was passed during this legislative session that removed the sunsetting provision. So this is going to be our new normal for our Committee on Free Expression. We typically hold 2 meetings per year. The first meeting is held in August, September, when we go through and look at the guidance that we provide to the colleges on compiling information for this report. And then the second meeting is held around the first part of November so that we can review the report prior to sending it to the chancellor for final approval and then submission by December 1st to the governor, to the Secretary of State, and to the leaders of the House and the Senate. So with that in mind, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background as to why we've moved into the world of complying with the open meetings law. So what we're going to do, and please understand, this is our first time doing this meeting, complying with open meetings law, and so it may feel a little clunky right now, and I apologize for that. So we have the report. All of you have received a copy of this report, and today is the day that we are going to be talking about any concerns that you have, any edits that you have, any mistakes that you found in the report, whether they be anything from typos all the way up to, misnaming a college or something like that. Now is the time that we're going to discuss that so that we can make the corrections before sending the report to the chancellor for his final approval. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to go ahead and open it up for us to have just an open discussion. I don't know if you need me to, at the end of our open discussion, I will call on each member who is here and see if they have any final comments about the report prior to taking a vote on whether we're comfortable with the report to send it to the chancellor. So I'm opening it up to all of you to discuss this report and see if you have any questions. I'm going to call on Teresa Tony first, because I know you had mentioned to me that there was something that you did want to say in this regard.
Yes, thank you, Melissa. I just had a recommendation to resolve a possible disconnect between pages 2 and 19. On page 2, it makes reference to Appendix A, and Appendix A, December 1st, 2020, listing the names of the committee members. Yeah, there it is, I believe, in that first paragraph. But when you go to Appendix A, which is on page 19, if you can forward to that, Robert. Okay, there. The date at the top, it says December 1st, 2018. So my recommendation is to correct the date to say December 1st, 2020. And I would also say between at least the time frame, it would be correct, Melissa, to list you as interim general counsel, because I believe that also occurred at least in close to December 1st, 2020.
All right, I've got those written down. We'll definitely make those changes.
Okay, I'm not muted.
No.
Okay, I'm probably gonna mute myself because you guys can probably hear me typing. But I did have a question because I know Teresa had brought something up to me about Dr. Fuji. Do we need to remove her from the list because I heard she was no longer with Maricopa?
I believe she left in May of 2020. So if we're saying that was the list at the start of December of 2020, she was at least here through May of 2021.
So should,
So
so should, so I should keep her and then we'll remove her for the next time.
that would be my recommendation.
Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
thank you. I'm muting myself now.
So, so along that line, forgive me, Melissa, I'm sure I at some point said I'm desperate to be on this committee, but I'm not really sure how this got populated. And I have Dr. Miller on the phone because she is in the position that Dr. Suzuki vacated, but that's been longer than a year and that she's been at Paradise Valley. So I did, and we're pretty PVCC heavy. And so my guess is that's by mistake, not by like the people just have shifted. And so I just didn't know if we needed to take a look at that. Maybe that's another time. Maybe we approve this report. That's where I'm at.
So the provost is the one who populates this committee. So we can absolutely send any recommendations for committee members to the provost and then invite the provost to our next meeting, which would be August of next year, to change that committee, because we really only meet twice and it's specifically for this report. So that is something that we can put in the notes. So what we'll do is we'll maintain the committee members, because these were the committee members for this. We should, and Robert, this is something we need to do. Let's take the list, which I think is the same as this one because we took it off of this, but the list of people to whom we sent the report and the invite for this meeting, the committee members, let's say the members, and we'll take that list and provide it to the provost a month or so prior to our next meeting. So the provost can then make adjustments to the committee as he sees fit. And then we will report on that at the meeting in August of next year.
Melissa, this is Patty, and I have the same concern with 3 members from Estrella on that committee. Of course, I could be serving this year as BPSA Council Chair, but that is not what I would be doing next year. And I believe Dr. Ann Suzuki left Paradise Valley way before December of 2020. And so if we're keeping her on there, her college would now be Chandler Gilbert Community College.
Thank you. So I will make sure that the provost reviews the committee membership and spreads it, makes appropriate changes. And then we will bring that at the meeting next year for, I guess, just to announce it, right? Are there any, are there any other questions, concerns, clarifications that are needed on the report itself?
So this is Mike from Paradise Valley. I have a question about page 11 regarding Paradise Valley's contribution. There seems to be some text added that wasn't included in what I had sent on October 27th. It seems like there's a paragraph in there that was a holdover from the previous year, which isn't present in the document that I sent. So it starts with a major success is that PVCC is extraordinarily accommodating to public expression. There's some examples that are, well, that's true. There's the examples that were used from the previous academic year, not the current academic year, that I didn't submit. So
Okay, so remove the language from the previous report and leave just what you submitted. Is that correct?
correct. Well, yes, because the groups that were referenced in that paragraph didn't come to campus at all.
Okay. Okay. We've got that to do as well. Any other comments, concerns, questions? Okay, it doesn't sound like it, so I'm going to go through the list of everyone who's participated, all the committee members, and ask if there are any questions before we move forward. So I'm going to start with Patty. Patty, do you have any additional questions or concerns or comments about this report?
None at this time. Thank you.
Dwayne?
Nope, not at this time.
Jen?
I do not have additional comments or suggestions.
Teresa, has she been able to join?
Yeah, she's on.
Judy?
No comments. Looks good. Thank you.
Mike?
No comments. I read the report. That looks fine.
And the other Mike?
I just need to clarify that the report indicates that there were no incidents reported at any of the campuses.
Any incidents?
Right.
What do you mean? I mean, are you talking about incidents where the number one, question number one?
Yeah, number one, there were no reported incidents. Estrella Mountain reported some Zoom bombing, but they made the corrections of that. That was the only reference at all to an incident that occurred over this last year. Am I correct?
Yes, that's what was reported back to us.
Okay, then I have no comments.
Teresa?
No, I don't have any questions, and I do just want to co-sign on this meeting format that I do agree that we should host this meeting in an open format.
Thank you, Teresa. And I don't have any questions. So the next step, we will be making the corrections that were talked about here in this meeting today. And let me just go back over them. So the recommendation from Teresa was to fix some potentially confusing language on page 2, the reference to Appendix A, to change that as of December 1st, 2020, because that's our report. Because right now it says as of December 2018, to change and list me as interim general counsel because I was appointed interim general counsel at that time, and for the next report to remove Dr. Fuji as a member because she has left Maricopa. We'll also be looking at the committee membership as a whole. I will be contacting the provost, so because the governing board has delegated responsibility to the provost to staff this committee, and ask for his review of the members of the committee, and invite the provost to our August 2022 meeting to outline and to basically announce the new members of the committee or how the committee has changed. Another thing is on page 11, PVCC, there's text that's added that was not in the report that Mike Ho submitted for this year. We will remove that language. We will actually make sure, Mike, that we look at the email that you sent when you submitted your information and make sure that it's consistent in the report.
Great, thank you.
And I believe that's all of the changes to the report. Does that sound correct?
Just a quick clarification. I believe the reference for Stephanie Fuji was that if she was here until May of 2021, we would still leave her, but then remove her, of course, for the next cycle.
Correct. And I think you said that she was here, but she was still here as of that period. Is that correct?
Well, at least at my understanding, and maybe some of the other VPs can correct me, I believe she left in May of 2021. So if that's still covered, like the majority of the reporting period, I think you would want to leave her. But if it was outside of the reporting period, to remove her.
Okay. I'll make sure. I'll look and verify the dates that she left.
And then there was also going to be a correction for the location for, I believe, Dr. Suzuki. She's no longer at Paradise Valley, but at Chandler Gilbert. So if she is still an active member of the committee, then to correct her location.
That she's at Chandler Gilbert?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. We'll do that. Okay, if there is anything else, we need a motion to move this report once edited with these changes to the chancellor for his review.
I
prior
move
to-
we, so moved.
Okay, Mike has made our motion. Do we have a second?
Second from the other mic.
Okay, that's Mike Ho.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'll do now is I will send this over to the chancellor and have him review it, and we will submit it by December 1st. I will actually, we need to post the final report on our website. We do that in our consumer information webpage, and I will make sure that that is done and that all of the members of this committee see that it's been posted and get a copy of the final report.
You have to call for a vote after the second motion, or is the second motion enough?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I forgot that part. So we have the vote, we have the motion, we have the second. Now we need a vote. All those in favor of us moving this report to the chancellor, I'm going to go through the list and you tell me yes or no. Patty,
Yes.
thank you. Dwayne,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Judy,
Yes.
Mike Ho,
Yes.
Mike, the other Mike,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
and I vote yes. It doesn't look like we have any no's. Thank you, Teresa, for keeping me on my feet. I swear, I didn't even, I totally spaced the vote. All right, so I will go ahead and get this submitted over to the chancellor for his review, and then we will post it once it has been submitted to the governor's office, the secretary of state, and the heads of both the House and the Senate. Thank you for your participation today and for reviewing the report. And we will get together again in August of next year. Thank you.
Right. Happy
Thanks,
Thanksgiving.
This is the end of our public meeting, and trust me, I will be better at this by August of next year. So thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Melissa. Bye.